Let's continue to hear tributes for AmaZulu Traditional Prime Minister. ANC National Spokesperson Mahlengi Bhengu joins us now. A very good morning to you. Waking up to some rather sad news that a man with for more than 7 decades played an active role in the political standing of the country, the nation, and his political party, the IFP, is now no longer. What's your immediate reaction? Very good morning to you.
Good morning. I think it's for any really nation-loving South African, it's a difficult moment. It's very sad news. And as the ANC, we sincerely condole with the family of the Buthelezi, the people of AmaZulu Nation. He was the Prime Minister of AmaZulu Nation. His organization that he founded, Inkatha Freedom Party, our colleagues in the Inkatha Freedom Party, IFP, must be going through a lot at this point in time. And a number of people whose lives he impacted. Inkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi was also Inkosi of a clan and a tribe in Mahlabathini. He was a devout Anglican. All of those communities are deeply impacted by his passing. Similarly, the ANC is deeply impacted by his passing. He was actually born in the ANC, grew up alongside Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela. They were mates. They were a generation of young leaders who founded the ANC Youth League. And so with us, the relationship with Sheng has always been that kind of relationship of unity as well as struggle, in a sense of moments where there have been disagreements. But love was never lost among those leaders. And up until his passing, he still had a great sense of decorum in terms of how he engaged, and mutual respect in terms of how he engaged with the leadership of the ANC. And we take a leaf from that about what it means to be a mature leader.
He has been described as an exceptional leader, a man with a great wisdom, humility. How would you describe him as you interacted with him yourself personally over the years?
I will really reiterate and reaffirm what you've just said in terms of how it's been described by others. I've had several moments, countless moments of interacting with Shenge in my youth, especially, and I just want to use one quick anecdote. In 1996, I'm appointed by President Nelson Mandela as the chairperson of the first youth development agency in the country, then known as the National Youth Commission, which was a multi-party body. So we had the Inkatha Freedom Party people represented in the National Youth Commission. So in that role, I had the responsibility of making sure that all political parties in South Africa are integrated and have a view in terms of the development of the youth machinery in South Africa, youth development machinery in government. So I would have the opportunity of traveling and attending conferences of the Inkatha Freedom Party, particularly the Youth Brigade, and several interactions with him, lots of advice when you are in his company, lots of humility, lots of encouragement, and that is what I will remember personally. I myself grew up in KZN, and I'm an Anglican, so I would also interact with him in the church. He was a great singer. Everyone will tell you about that. He would, when he would attend the churches and the diocesan churches, he would be allowed to just sing, because that's how he also found his own therapy, I would think. And so I've had those moments that are deeply personal to me and my family.
Let's go back a little bit, as you were talking about how he was born out of the ANC, and we know that that led him to also being a founding member of his own party, the IFP, in 1975. And, of course, the relationship between the ANC and the IFP in the 1990s, a lot of conflict dynamics between the parties. On the back of that, and now reflecting on what later happened and how the relations became between the two parties, what do you think are some of the very strong lessons in terms of the political sphere when it comes to party politics?
Well, I do think that in a liberation struggle, it is inevitable that there will be opposing sides on an issue or on a policy or on a strategy or even on principles. So there may be principled differences, but there may also be what we call tactical differences. And there is no walking away from that aspect of history in terms of the differences between the ANC and the IFP in the lead-up to the founding of our democracy. And I don't necessarily think that that point is unique to South Africa. That's happened elsewhere. And but I want to focus on the fact that post-democracy, post the achievement of a democratic order, the ANC and the IFP have always been either at opposing ends or sometimes actually agreeing on a number of fundamental points around the value system that our democracy should have. And he's been the anchor of that. I would like to say so.
Yeah. And very quickly, before we let you go, what sort of legacy do you think he leaves behind?
Well, I think he, elsewhere I said that one of the things that was known for, as I say, is a sense of spirituality. And that, if you operate from that as your core, chances are as a leader you can actually even make, people-centered decisions. Secondly, he was very passionate about rural development. Development of the people where you live and making sure that rural communities are self-sustaining. I suppose that is a very important part of the legacy because it's something that we must still address because it's a stubborn challenge. But he also leaves behind a good legacy of emphasis on literacy and education. He himself was a highly educated man and having started from humble origins and humble beginnings. So I do think that the legacy of learning and lifelong learning is something that would have to behold. He also leaves a legacy of, others call it statesmanship, especially post-1994, and how he would really marshal new parliamentarians to exercise their responsibilities with a great sense of measure and decorum. Admonished quite a lot of those that would go into parliament to just go and pursue narrow, party politics at the expense of the interests of the nation. I think it's got to be remembered also about that.
Very well. Thank you so much for that. ANC National Spokesperson Mahlengi Bhengu, paying tribute to AmaZulu traditional Prime Minister Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi.